Welcome to Village Idiocy, Conversations at Woolfe Street Playhouse. I'm Jay Danner, Village Rep Ensemble member. We're hoping to spend this time with you to pull back the curtain and go behind the scenes here at Woolfe Street Playhouse. We want to provide a forum for one-on-one conversations, in-depth interviews, various discussions on all things theater. We'll be discussing the challenges and the setbacks of life in the theater, the social significance of the plays produced here each season, and how theater inspires us as humans. Hey everybody, this is Jay Danner. I'm here with Keely.
Hi.
So we're here to introduce our, I don't mean our, but the podcast for Woolfe Street Playhouse, Village Rep at Woolfe Street Playhouse. Mm-hmm. What are we calling it?
Village Idiocy, Conversations at Woolfe Street Playhouse.
Why are we calling it that?
I
love the name.
That seemed good.
Yeah. I like it.
Why are we? I'm not going to take credit because I think Brian Turner can name this, but I thought it was genius. We can give Brian credit. I think it was a good name and it fit. Why Village Idiocy? Yeah. When we moved downtown from our original home in Mount Pleasant in 2012. We had to begin a huge financial campaign to raise the funds to renovate the beautiful Woolfe Street Playhouse, which had been a meatpacking warehouse. And it was going to cost at least $500,000, if not more. And people said we couldn't do it. And since we had been in the Village Playhouse in Mount Pleasant for 11 seasons at that point, it seemed apt that we would call ourselves sort of the Village Idiots as we... Like this was a crazy idea. You'll never raise enough money to... Yeah, and they said we couldn't do it, so we're doing it anyway. And basically, we sort of invited you to become a Village Idiot along with us as we set off on this campaign to raise money to move our company from Mount Pleasant down here to the peninsula as we adapted this gorgeous old warehouse space that was beautiful but dilapidated. And
that was in 2011. Right? Or did you say 2011?
The original campaign began in 2011, and then we ended up moving out of our original home the summer of 2012, and we opened our doors here December of 2012. Okay. Yeah.
And so how long were you in Mount Pleasant? Because that was before, for those that don't know, I mean, I've been here in Charleston about 8 years or 9 years. And so you guys were just about to move, I think. And how long were you in that old space?
We opened our doors in Mount Pleasant in the Brook Green Town Center in August of 2001. Yeah. And it was... I don't even know how to describe it. It was a funky little space, 3,600 square feet, and it was attached to a grocery store. So we were the theater company next to the Food Lion, off Coleman Boulevard in Mount Pleasant, and
which is how all the great ones start.
You know,
a little storefront theater.
It was a little storefront theater. Yeah. The reason it was next to a grocery store was because it had high ceilings. Because a grocery store tends to have high ceilings, and we wanted a space that felt intimate, where the audience was close to us, but yet we could build sets that were 2-story sets that would give us more space than a black box space. We wanted to do big plays reimagined in an intimate setting. That was like the original mission. And we didn't know what that would look like, but we knew we wanted enough height to do more than just black box theater. Yeah. And our original space ended up being about 150-seat cabaret theater. We put a bar inside the space because we thought we might get more men, husbands, grandfathers, fathers, if they had a beer and a place to sit down, and it wasn't auditorium style. Yeah. At the time, there was nothing going on culturally in Mount Pleasant. I mean, really, nothing. So we created a space, Dave and I, when I say we, my husband, Dave Reinwald, and I, wanted to create a space that we would want to go to. Mm-hmm. And we wanted somewhere, Mount Pleasant is, of course, a little suburb of Charleston, and it doesn't have a cultural arts scene at all. Right. And we wanted to go somewhere that wasn't going to be about kids soccer or PTA or maybe a church pageant. So an evening that was for adults, that was sophisticated, that was fun, that you could have a drink, and that you could see new works or classic works reimagined in an intimate space.
And I think that you've taken that idea of bigger pieces and then reimagined in a smaller space and still brought that over here.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know people that are listening. Most people that are listening have probably been here before, but those who haven't, I feel like you've taken that idea and kept it, but the place is bigger and nice. And
it is. Beautiful. It is nicer than than the little space. We really tried. That was the most important thing to us, is that we didn't change the mission. So we started the theater company. Well, we actually opened the venue. That summer of 2001, and we. The nonprofit, the Village Repertory Company, was formed in 2002, because once the building got started and we really kind of understood what we wanted to do, we realized that we had a mission-based organization on our hands. What we really wanted to do was mission-based, so that from that came the Village Repertory Company. And the original space was the Village Playhouse right there, because we were basically in the old village of Mount Pleasant. So all of this, if you don't know that, that's the impetus for why.
Yeah, that's good to know.
Yeah.
So I think what you and I had sort of talked about what the podcast would be like, and so for people that are listening, we'll have our first podcast up soon.
Yeah.
And so the idea is to usually may have a different host every podcast, and maybe we'll have like a new ensemble member, which is something people may not know about. You've recently created an ensemble here, which is cool.
Right. So now we're in our 6th year here at Woolfe Street Playhouse, and after we raised the money and were able to come in and adapt this warehouse space to a theater space, we kept the seating is about the same size, though, as you said, the building itself is much larger. We were able to move all of our flats and all of our props and all of our set pieces that had been in storage spaces all around Mount Pleasant and brought them into the 17,000 square feet facility. We created the main stage theater that does seat about 150. Well, it can seat to 200 if we do it in a more traditional setup. And then we have a side stage space, which is like a traditional black box, which is a lot of fun. So our smaller plays can go on back there, and you do feel like you're in a cute, intimate, lower ceiling setting where you're really a part of the action back there. So we created all that, and we had worked since the beginning with a core group of actors, many of whom have been with us since the very first production on that stage in August of 2001. But we had never created an official ensemble. So I guess it's been 2 years since we formed the ensemble, and it really is made up of about 30 actors that we love, depend on, believe in. I cast my season with those actors in mind, and then we usually fill in the rest of the season and the rest of the shows with other talent. There's so much talent in Charleston.
Here in town. It's so unique, I find.
Yeah, so it's always fun to add to that mix. And Charleston is, as I always say, it is filled with incredible professional talent. People come to Charleston because the lifestyle is so wonderful, but they are skilled, talented, trained artists who choose to live in Charleston, and to have a venue that is home for those people is the biggest thrill for me. It really is. Out of everything that I do, that is my number one favorite thing about the company, is to have a home for my talented friends who live here and want to be a part of performing in Charleston.
I'm excited and honored to be a part of it. And so that's part of Village Idiocy, Conversations at Woolfe Street Playhouse. You'll get to meet and get to know some of the ensemble members a little better as we chat about each show that's coming around the corner. And then we may have some other surprises in the podcast down the road if it all works out. So maybe we even talked about doing like some scripted pieces, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. We might do a little radio style theater for people.
Which would be perfect for the building.
Yeah, really fun.
So great. That all sounds terrific. And we will see you soon. Or you will hear us soon. How about that?
That'll be great.
All right. Bye.
Bye.